Hi boys and girls, I'm volunteering as a dog walker at my local humane society, and I have to show you this dog because he reminds me of someone from the book The Hallo-wiener. That's one of my favorite Halloween books about a dog named Oscar, and this dog's name is Slinky, and he reminds me so much of Oscar. He's not the same kind of dog as Oscar, but he sure does look a lot like him. Let me show him to you. This is Slinky. Hi, Slinky dog. He's checking everything out. Come on, Slinky, let's walk. Now, in the book, The Hallo-wiener, they say that Oscar is half a dog tall and 1.5 dogs long. And that's one of the things that Slinky reminds me of. He's like a short, long dog. And I could just see him wearing a hot dog costume like Oscar. Slinky dog. Hey. Slinky dog, come this way. Come on, buddy. Hi, boys and girls. This is my friend Oscar. He's got on his Halloween costume. He's a dachshund, sometimes called a wiener dog, and he's wearing a hot dog costume. He is the star of one of my favorite Halloween books called The Hallo-wiener. I'm going to put Oscar right up here so he can listen to the story too. He wants to hear this story. It's a good one. The Hallo-wiener by Dav Pilkey. There once was a dog named Oscar who was half a dog tall and 1.5 dogs long. Because of his unusual shape and size, all of the other dogs made fun of him. Wiener dog, wiener dog, wiener dog, they called him. That's not very nice, is it? And Oscar did not like it one bit. Oh, look at his face. His face is sad. Oscar's mother was no help either. Every morning when the dogs walked off to obedience school, Oscar's mother stood in the front yard, waving and calling out, "Farewell, my little Vienna sausage!" And the other dogs laughed and laughed. Look, they're laughing, but Oscar isn't laughing. Most of the time, Oscar was upset by all of this, but not today. Today was Halloween, and Oscar was thinking about other things. All day long at obedience school, Oscar daydreamed about Halloween night, trick-or-treats, and scary costumes. When Oscar got home, he dashed upstairs to start working on his scary Halloween costume. But when he got to his room, a surprise was waiting for him. "Happy Halloween, my little sausage Link," said Oscar's mother. "I made you a costume to wear for tricks or treats." When Oscar saw the costume, he nearly fainted. It was a giant hot dog bun, complete with mustard, and guess who was supposed to be in the middle? Oscar didn't want to upset his mother or hurt her feelings, so he decided to wear the silly costume. So he's going to be the hot dog inside that hot dog bun, isn't he? That night, all of the dogs on the block gathered to show off their costumes. Everyone was looking quite scary. But not Oscar. He was looking quite frank. When the dogs saw Oscar in his silly costume, they howled with laughter. "Ah, look at Oscar," they cried. "He really is a wiener dog, wiener dog." Poor Oscar. He was so embarrassed. "Wiener dog, wiener dog," laughed all of the other dogs as they ran off to go trick-or-treating. Oscar tried to keep up with the dogs, but his silly costume kept slowing him down. All night long, the other dogs hounded every treat they could get their paws on. So by the time Oscar got to each house, there were no treats left. Oh, poor Oscar. He's looking sad again. He's just not having a very good Halloween so far. Soon trick-or-treating was over, and the dogs walked home past a spooky graveyard. Suddenly, a horrible hissing sound filled the air. Hiss! The dogs stopped right in their tracks. Then out of the graveyard rose a ghastly monster. The dogs screamed for their lives. They dropped their treats and they jumped into a nearby pond. Can you see the monster shadow right there? What it looks like? That's what they saw. The monster moved closer. "Please don't eat us!" cried the dogs. The monster yowled and hissed. "Boo-hoo-hoo!" sobbed the dogs. The monster jumped up and down. "Somebody save us!" shrieked the dogs from the pond. Just then, somebody showed up. It was Oscar. Because Oscar was so short, he saw something that the other dogs had not seen. "That's no monster!" cried Oscar, and with a loud bark, Oscar waddled to the rescue. Oscar chomped and tugged at that monster with all his might. Rip! And there, standing in the moonlight, was just a couple of ornery cats. "Help!" cried the cats. "We're being attacked by a giant Frankfurter!" And they ran off screaming through the graveyard. So look, it really wasn't a monster. It was cats dressed up. The dogs in the pond had seen the whole thing, and now it was their turn to be embarrassed. "We've been chased into a pond by a couple of cats," they moaned. But Oscar was a true friend. He leaped into the water and swam over to the dogs. Oscar's silly costume made a wonderful life raft, and the dogs all climbed up. "All aboard!" Oscar called, and then he doggy paddled back to shore. See Oscar? He jumped in to save his friends. When they got back to dry land, all the dogs shared their Halloween treats with Oscar. Because Oscar had been so brave, the dogs changed his name from Wiener Dog to Hero Sandwich. And from that night on, nobody ever made fun of Oscar again. Happy Halloween! You know what I like best about that story, friends? That even though his friends had not been so nice to him, Oscar was a true friend and he still jumped in to save them. I hope you have a happy Halloween and that you get to wear a costume that you like.
There are lots of amazing dogs just like Slinky at your local animal shelter. So if you're looking for a forever friend, make sure to check out your animal shelter before buying a pet.